Good morning. Happy Saturday, family and friends. How are you doing today? Hopefully you've had a fabulous week. Whatever it was you may have been working on, hopefully it's been fabulous. We've got rain for the next few days, so time to get some of your inside projects done so you're ready and prepared for enjoying our summer months when they do arrive. I have a feeling it's going to come in pretty strong and fierce and quick. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of spring, but you never know. We'll see how that goes. Today would be my dad's birthday. Obviously, for those of you who know me, know that he's no longer here, but doesn't mean that I don't celebrate. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet today. His favorite was steak. So anybody, again, who knows my dad well, totally knows that he would go for a steak dinner and not forgetting his Miller Lite to go with it. But I'm not sure that I'm going to do a steak today. It's not about that, okay? So everybody who does know my dad, please go ahead and take a moment today to celebrate in some manner that you recall or remember him, okay? So it's a little too early to start out with a Miller Lite, so we won't do that. But maybe it's 5 o'clock somewhere for you, okay? We're also nearing the end of the school year, guys. All the spring concerts at the school, proms, all of the final year-end field trips and things are always enjoyable. So, you know, we're at the end of the year. The kids start to get a little bit non-focused, or it's not quite as good as it is in the middle of the year, but we know we're getting close, okay? Good morning, Kathy. I hope you have a fabulous day. But anyway, those are all coming up soon. I just went to one of the spring concerts at Mike Miller. Very, very cute. Gosh, you forget what they're like until you go again. But yes, they put a lot of time, a lot of effort into that. So either way, graduations are right around the corner. So for those of you preparing for that, I send you well wishes. I know that's a lot of stress. And for those of us attending some of them, well, that's just an every year thing. So also today, folks, it's already started, but the Aberdeen Area Humane Society paw sale out at the fairgrounds started at 9 o'clock today. If you're already been there, great. If you haven't and you're thinking about it, I'd get out there. That event goes pretty quick and lots of people, they are waiting, or I should say people are waiting for those doors to open. So thank you, Cindy Lou. Yes, I know. But yes, that's happening right now. Rummage sales are going to be coming everywhere. I know that Groton has their citywide. There's going to be neighborhood, the Southwest Post Office. They have theirs coming up in May. So keep a look for that if you're a big rummager. Also, for the folks that are looking for certain things, if you become a recent homeowner and you just need a couple of things for your yard, maybe some tools, something like that, and you don't want to spend full price, keep an eye out for those rummage sales. Okay, good time to maybe hit some of those things that you don't use a lot, but you want. So anyway, those are starting. We're going to get right into it, guys. I've got some showing set up for today in this nice, lovely, rainy weather, but we are going to get right into it. Okay, rates. They are at a 4.3 up through a 5.5, okay? I was listening to a podcast saying that the rates are up into the middle of the fives or up towards the middle of the fives, and this is affecting some buying power for you buyers. So for those of you listening that have had a pre-approval for, say, 30, 40, 50 days, you may want to consider going and talking to your lender. Because of the change of the interest rates, that may have a slight difference on your approval amount. Okay, so it's not going to be huge, guys. I'm not going to try and panic anybody, but it is something to think about. Instead of maybe a $300,000 home, maybe now you're at a $275,000. Okay, so think about that. If you've been pre-approved and you're working with a lender, you may want to check on that. Make sure some of those numbers have not changed, and if so, ensure that your agent is fully aware so that the focus of what you're looking at can be shifted. Okay. This week, for our local market data, we had 22 new homes listed. Again, folks, this is numbers just for residential and for commercial buildings. 22 new, 21 pended, 18 closed for a total of 99 on our market right now. Staying very close to what they've been for the last few weeks reporting in. No major changes there. You can see some of the market still being pretty hot, others not going near as fast. I am starting to see open houses. Anybody in Aberdeen, for the last, year and a half or so, we haven't really seen any open houses. So if there's an indication to what our market is doing, we are seeing a few. Good morning, Mom. So anyway, like I said, we haven't had a lot of those lately. We couldn't keep the houses on the market long enough to host an open house. So, like I said, it's slowing down a tad bit. Nothing where we'd like it to maybe be as far as, for the buyers, but nonetheless, we are seeing a slight difference. Okay. So, today I just wanted to focus on, we go through this process. We start with the buyers, we start with the seller and or both, and they have a mission of either getting into a home or getting out of a home. And so we have to handle that differently on each side. But today what I'm going to talk about is the closing, how to prepare for that closing as a buyer and or a seller. The closing is the day that you wait for. That is the day everything is signed. It is official. You hand over those keys. So bittersweet baby for the seller, whether you're downgrading, or upgrading or moving. Could be a bittersweet day for you. For the buyer, typically it's not extremely bittersweet, especially if it's a first-time home. They are excited and they are anxious, okay? So either way, I wanted to just discuss a couple of the things that you'll need to have prepared for that closing, because it goes very fast. When we have a contract under, legally under contract, we then are about 6 to 8 weeks from closing. Sooner if it's cash. Okay, so we get some questions about what am I going to need? What can I have prepared? Same kind of concept as buyers preparing for their pre-approval. So we're going to take this just a step further, and we're excited. It's your closing day. Here we are. So your agent is going to prepare you ahead of time. They're not going to call you the day of your closing and tell you this, but this is just something to keep in mind. So for buyers, the day of your closing, we usually close everything down at a title company. You are going to need to have your driver's license. They are going to make a copy of that. They do need to prove that you are indeed the person that is on these documents, because they are legally recorded and you are then held subjected to repayments. So you do need to come with your driver's license, okay? The other thing that you're going to need that day is the funds to close, okay? Whether this is being wired from your bank or whether you're coming with a cashier's check. You will have been given your buyer's settlement statement ahead of time so that you know exactly what amount you're bringing to that closing table. Those funds must be there. So again, you either need to come physically with a cashier's check or those funds need to be wired to that title company the morning of that closing, okay? You will also, as a buyer, want to ensure that you contact utilities, okay? Northwestern Energy, for instance, or Northern Cooperative, whichever one it is. You need to get your name on their books. So they usually ask for an effective date of the change and get all of your pertinent information so that transfer can happen as smoothly as possible. As far as things needed, that's pretty much the realm of it. There's not a whole lot more you need to bring with you to the table, other than a smiling face and hopefully you stretched out your hands a little bit because there's plenty of signing, okay? But otherwise, it's an ID, folks, the funds that you need to close, making sure that everything has been in place with your utilities. The rest of it is done at the title company. Plan to be there for approximately an hour. Usually doesn't take that time, but we do tell you to plan for about an hour worth of being there. After that, you have the keys that you can go into that brand new home, okay? Selling side, let's do a quick switch. Okay, you are now selling and closing is today. So what do you need to know when you head to that title company? Again, your driver's license. They still need to show who you are. They need to know who you are. Good morning, Teresa. So driver's license is that's a given, and it has to be a valid ID. So if it's expired, they're going to catch that. It is not going to be sufficient for that closing, and it would have to be postponed until that ID had been updated. So don't wait until the closing date to check that out, okay? Also, same thing for utilities. As a seller, you have to contact that company. Let them know this is your final day of service. Many people do that, a week ahead of time. So anywhere between 2 days up to a week ahead of time. So you do not, again, need to wait until the day of closing. In fact, we do not want you to do that. This is just going to be a final reminder the day at the closing table. Hey, by the way, you did call utilities, correct? Yes. Okay. So again, your agent should be giving you the steps needed. But nonetheless, also as a seller, bring any extra keys or remotes or things that are going to those new buyers. Now, obviously, we don't expect you to bring your appliances to the closing table. Those are expected to stay in the house. But these are just the extra little things. If there was some deal that was made between you and that party about a property that's staying, like I said, have that at the home. Bring your keys, bring your remotes, anything that new buyer is going to need to access that property. Okay? Have all items out of your house. I know every state is a little different, right? And in fact, I've been told, well, geez, so once we close, then we have 2 days to get moved in? Or get moved out? No. That's not what we do here in South Dakota. So the day of closing, all of your properties, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, are expected to be out of your home. So typically, if you're reaching out to a mover, as far as, dial a move or a moving company, you want to do that as soon as that contract is in place. As soon as your house has went under contract, you need to reach out to those movers and get something set up, preferably for a couple of days prior to closing, maybe the day before. Please never schedule it for the day of, because that is going to be a big nuisance, and we'll have to delay that process because, again, once we are done signing, that new owner has ability to take possession. There should not be, oh, wait, we don't have all of our stuff out of there. That's not going to go well. So it does need to be done, and the house needs to be cleaned, okay? We know there's little different levels of cleanliness between everybody, but when I say this, treat it how you would want it. You don't want to walk into a filthy house when you're buying a new one or a pre-loved one, okay? It doesn't matter. You don't want to walk into that. So you want that clean. Floors should be clean. Mirrors should be cleaned. Everything out of the home. You do not want to leave a sign behind you. It is an image, okay? And those buyers don't forget who sold them their house, okay? So just one more piece of information as far as that goes. Anyway, guys, that's really, about what I wanted to cover. So many people question, what do I do? How long does it take? What to expect? So it's real simple, and it is the most fun part of the time, fun part of the process. It is solidifying your purchase and or your sale. So don't shy away from that closing company. They will most likely have been in touch with you prior to you getting to that table. They do request information so they can prepare up the deed and all your title work. But nonetheless, there is a little bit of a process, and you can have yourself prepared. So I hope you have a fabulous week. I think we're supposed to have a little bit of rain. However, it is going to get up into the high 50s and or 60s. So we're getting there. We're getting a little bit closer. About the time it starts to get nice here, I will be heading to Phoenix for a week for my nephew's graduation, but that's just how it seems to go. So anyway, keep in touch. Let me know if there's something I can assist you with. Otherwise, I'll plan to see you again next Saturday for Coffee with Kim. Have a fabulous week. Bye-bye for now.